Hey guys, it's Dan here, back with another, I guess you would call it, update on the whole Stallone Winkler Creed. I don't know if you want to call it a debacle, but I meant to post this video actually a while ago, or make this video, I should say. I just haven't had time, and I'm getting over an illness. So this information came out probably a week or so ago on Sly's Instagram and also on the Stallone Zone message boards. And, you know, if you're a fan like me that follows this stuff pretty close, you guys may have already heard this, but I figured I'd get it out there for everybody else that hasn't. And if you remember the last video I made, it was about this supposed Drago movie spin-off that is in the works. And again, Sly knew nothing about this, and he was upset. He put all kinds of things on Instagram, even editing his post, and Dolph Lundgren got involved, and this is kind of where we're at. I will say, I think Sly's done with all this shenanigans, because he hasn't posted it in a while, and there's other things I want to mention that he has said that, I don't know, I think maybe it's true, but, you know, Sly has said things a lot in the past where he kind of changed his mind, because everyone can change their mind. But anyway, let's just get into this real quick. So, briefly, there was an announcement that there was going to be there was a Drago Spin-off movie in the works, okay? So, Sly knew nothing about this, okay? So this is what he said. I'm going to read this directly from his Instagram post, which has been deleted at this point. Another heartbreaker. Just found out. Once again, Winkler, the pathetic 94-year-old producer, and his moronic vulture children, Charles and David. Now, Charles and David are the producers that are Irwin's sons that were involved in Rocky Balboa, or forced into Rocky Balboa. You can watch my other videos and see what happened with that. His vulture children, Charles and David, are once again picking clean the bones of another wonderful character I created without even telling me. I apologize to the fans. I never wanted Rocky characters to be exploited by these parasites. By the way, I once had nothing but respect for Dolph, but he never told me about what was going on behind my back with the character I created for him. Real friends are more precious than gold. Now, there you have it. I mean, again, this is from Sly's side, but after Sly put this out there, Dolph did post on his Instagram, and I don't have the direct quote, but this is basically what Dolph said. He was like, oh, I just assumed you were involved, either as a producer or even an actor. Don't worry, fans. On the phone with Sly now. Like, no worries. This is kind of what Dolph said. Now, Sly, according to him, he didn't even get that phone call. And Sly doesn't believe Dolph. And this is what he said next. After Winkler and family suck Rocky dry, presumed to be the most hated, untalented, decrepited producer in Hollywood, and his cowardly children have found their next meal, Drago. Return my rights, bloodsuckers. Throughout history, so many artists in every industry, recording, painting, writing, you name it, have been destroyed by these bloodsuckers, who have destroyed so many families, lining their pockets with other people's money. Dolph, why? Not a phone call? So, just to kind of sum things up, we don't know, okay? We're hearing from Sly's side of it, but I believe what Sly is saying, or what Sly feels, that obviously this was done behind his back, and I'm going to get into that in just a second. And I don't believe Dolph, and again, maybe I'm wrong, I don't believe Dolph had assumed Sly was involved in this project, and I'll tell you why. Sly is the creator of this saga, okay? For Dolph to have meetings, and he has been in meetings regarding a possible Drago spinoff, for Sly not to be in the room or over a Zoom meeting or a phone call, like, that's got to raise flags, right? I mean, how could you just assume Sly was involved with this? I mean, if Sly was working on a Drago spin-off, Dolph probably would have been the first to know if Sly had even written anything. I mean, Sly writes all the time. He could have just told Dolph in passing, hey, I'm working on this script, you know, maybe this is something that'll happen. Well, and it's rough because you could tell Sly's feelings are hurt because, listen, Sly gave Dolph his shot, and hell, you look at the Expendables movie, he brought Dolph in. You know, he didn't have to do that. So, for this to happen, you know, again, behind Sly's back, and this goes back into the whole, he has no rights to anything, and they've shut him out at this point, ever since Creed 2. And I want to get to a response that Sly put on the Stallone Zone, because, you know, on the Stallone Zone message board, you know, he gets pretty in-depth with fans, and fans were, of course, asking him, like, you know, oh, what's Erwin Winkler's deal, you know? I mean, and Sly said this. This is a direct quote from Sly. The last time I talked to Erwin Winkler was on the phone during the editing of Creed 2. Okay, so you're talking a while ago. This is the last time you talked to Erwin Winkler. This is what Sly said. I asked Erwin on the phone, why would you let the director of Creed 2, Stephen Caple Jr., why would you let the director of Creed 2 cut my final scene with Spider Rico? He was the last link to Rocky's past. Now, if you have watched Creed 2, there's a deleted scene. It's a really good scene where Rocky goes to Spider Rico's funeral. So Sly's like, why are you allowing the director to cut this? And then Erwin Winkler says, he runs the show, being Stephen Caple Jr. He runs the show, and you have never showed me respect, Stallone, so F you, and then hung up the phone. So you can see a few things here. One, it is all perspective. Obviously, Erwin Winkler has problems with Stallone. You know, maybe on Erwin Winkler's side, Sly has done some stuff. We don't know. That's the thing, you know. Erwin Winkler has said nothing about any of this stuff. And one thing you got to listen to on that is we already know that Erwin Winkler has the blocking rights. And again, what that means is he has final say in everything. So that's why Sly is talking to Erwin and not Stephen Caple Jr. Like, why did you allow this to be cut? And Erwin kind of brushed it off to Stephen Caple Jr. Like, oh, he has final say. Well, that's not true. You know, Sly's never had final say in the finished product of his movies, in any of the Rocky movies. He said so. He said so. That's another reason he was mad that Michael B. Jordan has this full editing rights. You know, he has full editing control of Creed 3, and Sly was like, I never was given that. It's just a lot of disrespect. You look at all this, and it's just a lot of disrespect. And again, we don't have all sides, and I'm not saying that Sly is a saint, okay? All I'm saying is that what he's telling us is all we have to go by, and there's no reason for him to lie, and especially since Sly, over all these years, has been very professional, you know? Like, we didn't know any of this stuff is because he's been professional in his career, but he doesn't have rights, and he would like some of those rights back. I don't think he's legally obligated to have any of those rights back. It's just kind of the right thing to do. A couple other things. Let's see. Someone asked about Rocky dying in Creed 3. Like, oh, are they going to kill your character off just because of all this stuff? And Sly said the only ones dying in Creed are the bored actors. So, I don't think they're going to kill Rocky off, and I don't think Sly thinks they will kill him off, but, you know, we never know. They're still editing the movie. And then other people have also addressed to Sly, like, you know, why do you keep deleting your posts? Because after he does this, he deletes his posts. And he said, purging is very good for the soul. And I don't have this quote because, again, it was deleted on Instagram. You know, he had said, because people are like, oh, you know, like, maybe you should think before you type things because you keep deleting this stuff. Like, you are backtracking, like, oh, I probably shouldn't have said that. Well, he said no. He said he doesn't want his Instagram bloated with all this negativity. He wants to put it out there just initially so people know what's going on. And I think he's trying to get the fan base behind him. You know, I know there's already a petition out to help get some of his rights back, but again, you guys got to make up your own mind, okay? There's logistics and there's rights and wrongs as far as the law goes and the legality of it, but you know, this is why I can't support Creed 3, which I've already said in another video. And I feel bad for Sly. And another thing that he said, this is what I'm going back to where he may change his mind. You know, Sly, he did say in the Stallone's that he's done with action movies now. He said he's had like 9 surgeries in the last like 10 years. And, you know, his body's just not able to take it anymore, which makes sense. He's in his 70s. You know, I was kind of hoping we'd get one more Rambo, but he said, he's like, Rambo, Expendables, Rocky's done. So, you know, I say never, but that's his feeling right now. So, you know, there you have it. You know, I feel bad. You know, again, it'd be like J.K. Rowling's like losing all power to her series and someone else is going to continue writing the characters and she has no say in it. You know, that's kind of where I feel like Sly is. It's like they've shut him out and MGM can't do anything about it. Sly can't do anything about it. It's all on Erwin Winkler. He's gonna, you know, franchise this. You know, I mean, like, at first I was like, well, a Drago movie may be interesting if you see my last video. And I said, you know, I don't know if Sly's gonna be involved. Well, obviously now he's not involved. He didn't even know about it. It was that when we all found out about it, that's when Sly found out about it. So none of it's going to be written by Sly. None of it's going to be story ideas from Sly. Just like Creed 3. This is all, Creed 3 is nothing by Sly. Sly did not have his hands in it. Sly has had his hands in all the Rockies and he had his hands in Creed 1 and Creed 2. And then unfortunately in Creed 2 they didn't use some of his ideas and that's fine. You know, if you like those movies, it's, you know, it's all opinion. But you just got to look at yourself personally and be like, you know, are you cool with this? Like, are you cool with, you know, and some people are, and that's fine, you know, like yeah, whatever. I like the Creed franchise and yeah, I'm fine with seeing it continue. But man, to have like a Drago spin-off, which I find intriguing, I thought that was the best parts of Creed 2, but now like Sly is not even involved in it. None of it's going to be written by him. It's just like, and like Dolph Lundgren, you know, not telling Sly about it. You know, maybe he really did think Sly was involved. I just find it hard to believe, and Sly does too. So, and you know, who knows if that phone call happened. Apparently, you know, he hasn't said anything. Maybe he won't, but I think Sly is done talking about this for some time. So basically, yeah, I just wanted to give you guys that information if you hadn't seen it already. Thanks for checking out my videos. I have a lot of old stuff if you haven't seen them, if you're new to the channel. But yeah, let's end this on a positive note. I'm really looking forward to The Samaritan, which comes out at the end of this month, and I will definitely be reviewing it. So thanks, guys, and leave any comments or questions in the section below, and we'll talk to you later.